Welcome back, everybody. It is episode 22 of the effing title, and tonight we got a repeat guest from earlier in the year who's wanted to be back on. The only thing I have to say is Jagger wishes he has his moves. It is Coach Angelos, but is it okay if I call you Zutie?
Yeah, of course it is.
Okay, good.
Especially with an intro like that, with the moves like Jagger.
Well, so the funny thing is that I went from doing I write down a list and I write down the intro and I do all that to now these days I just write off the top of my fucking head. I don't even bother anymore. It's yeah, it's I'll do depending on the topics, I'll look up stuff, but the intro I was like, fuck it, I'm done. So why don't you remind the guests who you are for the people here who haven't heard you before or haven't heard the first podcast with you.
Right. Yep, I've been on, like you said, I've been on before, but long time buddy of yours. We've been friends since college, since we started playing together. Both got into the coaching world together. Football's a big chunk of our lives. Football's still a big chunk of my life. Yeah, married, got a little one running around, and then, I'm just on here trying to say some funny things. So.
There we go. I mean, it'll be the first time for that to happen then. Funny things on this channel. But interesting topics for tonight, especially considering that I actually went back and looked at our previous topics as well versus these ones, and I just love how, it's one of the things that I like about doing the podcast is seeing what topics people pick, Because you get the people that, I ask them, it's okay, what do you want to do? And they're like, well, what do you want to do?
Right.
And I'm like, no. It's like, no, that's not how it goes. And then there's other ones where it's I'm like, what topics should we do? Like you, and you're just like, there it is.
I just don't want to this is your vibe, your thing. I just want to roll with the punches because I'm a huge fan and a long-time listener and a long-time buddy, and I don't want to mess with the vibe. I want to go organic and flow with whatever you're doing. So that's why I reach out and ask you that way.
Well, I appreciate it. So today's topics are biathlons and triathlons, football, a Q&A with Zutie, and my life as a
I'm
newest.
Super looking forward to flipping. So the viewers know when you asked me to come on again, I was like, listen, I really want to flip the script and make you be the interviewee, and I really wanted to kind of ask you questions. So I'm super excited for that.
I can only imagine. I mean, now especially that you said Jeff, I can only imagine what sort of fucking things he's asked. Especially considering that I sent him a message because I normally send him and John a message before I get on, being like, hey, podcast is in 10, so then they can get in and listen. And I sent him in, and he's like, oh, I know. And I was like, that's a weird response.
I sent out a mass text to all the boys.
Listen, God.
I'm asking.
Are you gonna now
questions?
Now are you also gonna say who asked what?
Should I though?
No,
I want to leave it.
Leave it
in the air so you can guess and we can debate. For weeks to come.
Fair enough. All right, so biathlon triathlons. I know so much about these because I've done so many of these.
Yeah, I know you're a big.
I'm a big runner.
big run guy.
Big run guy. Yeah. If it isn't.
So I'm starting to mess around with these things. And anybody who knows me, and you can speak to this, is from the spring into summer and into fall, I get super into being outside and being active and being super just trying to get my body into shape. I fluctuate with my weight, and then the winter rolls around. I have a cup of too many beers, and I start packing on the pounds in the winter. Everybody who knows me knows that that's my issue. So this time, especially with the whole COVID thing going on and everything coming out of winter, locked in, didn't really I wanted to do something different, couldn't go to the gym. So I was like, hey, I'm going to take my happy outside and go for some runs, and I invested and got a bike and everything. So we decided to start putting miles in. was too scared to jump in on a triathlon just out the gate. Didn't want to do the swimming part, so I figured, hey, let me mess around with a biathlon. Now these things are crazy because you're in a biathlon. You're obviously doing two events: a run and a bike.
Okay.
Triathlon, you're doing a swim, a run, and a bike. Those distances can be pretty long, and if you're crazy and want to do an Ironman, which is a 2-mile swim, a 112-mile bike, and then a marathon run, I'm not ready for that kind of jump. So I started out with the sprint with Biathlon Triathlon, which is a lot shorter. But yeah, that's the gist. This is just a new way to try to exercise and have fun, and I'm loving every second of it. Getting on the bike and running and stuff. So
I was gonna say, I see your posts every now and then, or like your stories there where you're out running or biking or doing that stuff. But, I mean, like that last one that you just said sounds like a fucking nightmare. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like
yeah,
2 mile like swim already at that point. I'm sitting there like as soon as you said that I was like, I don't even know if I can fucking swim for 2 minutes, let alone 2 miles.
The thing about the swim is you think in terms of miles, like when you run or when you bike or when you do a quick little sprint. Like these guys who are doing Ironmans who just casually go out and swim 2 miles, it's nuts. You get in the water like a sprint triathlon is something like 700 yards of a swim, which doesn't sound like a lot, but you get in and you tread water for 5 minutes, you're going to start to slowly die.
Well,
It's really... that's what I've learned. Is you can think you're in great shape and think you're doing well. Like I'll sit there and go out and do a 4, 5, 6 mile run, and then realize, oh, this is nothing. And then by the way, you got a 12, you got a 40, you got a 50-mile bike after this. You learn you get humbled real quick, and that's what I love about it. And you know me from when we were playing. Like, I don't really feel like I'm working unless I'm ready to throw up or die afterwards.
Yeah, right.
And this is the perfect way to kind of scratch that itch for me.
I mean, that's fucking crazy. I mean, like, I'm just like, I'm trying to wrap my head around it. I mean, like, because of course, you remember my first senior year. I was in good shape that year. I felt good. I was running. I ran well. I was one of the fastest linemen we had. And I just, even after the season, I tried keeping that up.
Right.
Like I can like at that point, like when I got done that year, I was even thinking like, you know what, maybe I could do like a marathon or something like that. Go out and do a run. 290-pound offensive lineman doing a big man run. Like, let's fucking get it. But like
I'm literally, I threw out a thing on social media. I'm looking for something because I did my first biathlon last week. I want to do like
more
a
like
half marathon or a quadrathlon or something, like where we throw kayaks in there to get somebody to do with me. Maybe a Spartan run, something crazy, because this is like once you start this thing and like you really scratch this itch, it's really hard to put it away.
Oh, chlamydia.
You need to that's what we need to do. We can do that on the next effing title is how is Greenwood after our triathlon.
It would be me lying down on the floor, somehow reaching my giant monkey arm up, giving a thumbs up while breathing heavy, saying I'm still alive, and that's the entire fucking podcast. Is just that.
We'll do a sprint triathlon.
Nope.
It'd be great.
Oh, you said the word sprint and something that said try in it. Nope.
Yeah, so it's funny because I said the same thing. The sprint is a great way to start because it's a smaller amount of, you're not doing 30, you're not doing 112 mile bikes.
Like no matter what the distance is, the thing is you have to remember is that one, I'm still a very large individual, considering my name literally has big and husky, which are 2 words for that same fucking thing. But then also,
do a Husky 5K.
Well, okay, calm down. The only 5K I'm doing is hopefully like in damage on a game.
Oh, man.
I walked over to my parents' house for yesterday for Independence Day, right? You know how far like away that is.
That's my favorite holiday of the.
My back hurt walking there.
It's a doozy.
Like
I remember when I came up last summer and you gave me the walk around of the entire.
Yeah, you tried to fucking kill me.
Town.
Hey, look! What does this hill lead us to? There's the college up there. What's the college? Nothing. Let's go! About halfway up there.
You're like, I think it's time to go home.
Yeah, I'm like fucking like I was like, I need a break. I need a break, and you're like, okay, let's just go home then. It's like,
I'm gonna give me a Diet Pepsi.
yeah, no, I mean it is one of those things I do need to. I know I need to get back in better shape. I won't say shape because I don't ever think I've really been in shape other than, like I said. I mean, it's one of, like, and I've thought about that too. Is like I've never been in shape. I don't consider football shape because that's like that was our life.
That's a whole nother animal.
Yeah, like we wake up and it's football. We're going to the gym. We're doing this. We're doing that. We're doing this. We're doing that. We're doing this. No, fuck. I mean, like I used to go to the mess hall. I wouldn't eat breakfast. I would eat a sandwich for lunch, and I would eat like the veggie meal for dinner, and that was it.
Right.
Like I don't have those options when I'm living on my own and actually have like resources to go buy stuff.
Well, the thing that I like about these, like these athlons, whatever you want to call them, is like it's a whole nother animal. Like I get crap from my wife all the time. She tells me that I have cycling arms now because I've lost so much weight in the last month and a half doing all this stuff. I got little scrawny like cycling arms.
Oh,
like I don't have the muscle arms that I used to, and but it's a whole nother animal. And when I do, like when I finished this biathlon last week, I felt so like it was an amazing accomplishment for me. I didn't think I had the ability to do it, and two, like when I was done, apart from my knee wanting to explode, like I was just on cloud nine when I finished it. And the end goal is I want to do a triathlon. I want to throw the swimming aspect in there, and say I can complete a triathlon, and if I got enough stones or the ability in me to do it, I would love to compete in an Ironman by when it's all said and done. That's how much this stuff is like awesome. Like I'm blowing by numbers in a run and in a bike that I never even thought I could touch before because of this whole. There's like an aura about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's almost like it's like what is it? What do they always call it? The runner's high, right? Like that's like a very typical term that's thrown around for like that feeling that you get, right?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, there's definitely like I used to just casually go out for runs, just to kind of keep myself from ballooning up. But like once I started this, like I found myself running out to like my local Target, which FYI I did not know was almost 6 miles away, doing a big ass loop like that. And you're like, well, shit, I got to get my happy ass home. So then you like when you complete a big run, or on a Saturday when I wake up and log an easy, and I do in air quotes, 20 miles on a bike, like you start crushing numbers and stuff that you didn't think you could do before, and you just kind of you roll with it, and it just makes you feel better, and you kind of just keep going, and it's like a football itch that I haven't had since we've stopped playing.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I mean, like I said, like I've never, I mean, like a run slash like run. I'm gonna put that in quotations. Like that, like I'd be like, okay, yeah, sure, let's fuck around with this, let's see what happens. I don't think I could throw in the biking part of it.
Well, the beautiful thing about it was like the only reason the bike got brought into it is because, and if we talked about it on the last one, is like I blew my knee out in college and everything, and like if I go out,
I remember that.
I put a 5K in, or I put anything greater than a 5K, my knee will literally yell at me for 48 hours afterwards. And I was like, I got to figure out a way to get some cardio, get some burn in here that's not going to blow my knee out.
Yeah.
So then I was like, my wife was like, let's do a bike. Like it's less intense on your knee. And then I was like, you know what? We did it. We got it in the house, and it's just been like it saved me. I don't have to put as much wear and tear on the body as I used to, because I have to remind myself that I am not a 21-year-old or an 18-year-old like we were in college. That I am in my 30s, and body ain't what it used to be.
I got to that point when I was coaching and I was working out with the kids one day, and like I came with my fucking bag and I put my bag down and I had my wrist wraps, I had my elbow brace, I had my ankle brace, I had my knee like I had all these things and like I put it on and all the kids are like,
Right.
like coach, what are you got that drip on right now? Like, you know, you're trying to look cool, and I'm like, and like that was the moment when like I looked in the mirror and I saw it and I was like, fuck, like.
Dude, I mean, I sat down the other day. I got into a squat just to like get my kid to run towards me, and sure enough, she came over, gave me a big old hug and everything. I was like, oh well, you're gonna need to find your mama because I'm stuck. I'm not getting out of this squat. Like we're not what we used to be.
No, not at all. I mean, it's like with me streaming more, my ankles has started to swell up. One of them because of the way that I sit.
Right.
And it gets to the point some mornings where like I like you know me, you see me put my shoes on, I literally just slip those fuckers on and just kind of, you know, monkey around with them. Like I don't tie them up or anything.
Sponsored by Under Armour.
Yeah. Yeah.
No free.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I mean, the shoes that I have right now are like $40 shoes from like 3 years ago. I'm 100% okay with spending $100 on DC stuff on Amazon. Still haven't bought a new pair of shoes in 3 years though.
It's all about priorities, dude.
Oh yeah, you know.
Okay.
But no, so like my foot will start to swell, and it will actually get to the point where like I have to get down on a knee to like get my shoe on and like fully get it on. And as soon as I do get it on, it's one of those things where like my foot is swollen to the point where it's like pushing my shoe now. And like every morning when that happens, I'm just like, oh, when it happens in the morning, I'm just kind of looking at myself like, when did this start fucking happening? You know, like.
I had like coworkers, my wife telling me like, listen, bottom line, like, no matter what you do, when you're done doing these runs and these bikes and stuff, your knees is gonna blow up because you're old. Like, you need to come to terms with the fact that you are old now, and that's like I joke with Sturge and Jeff and Jay and Southworth about that stuff. Like we're old.
Oh,
we ain't young boys anymore.
No, not at all. Not at all.
That's it, man. That's it. I did a biathlon. Want to do a triathlon. I looked into quadrathlons where they throw in a kayak, but like that's my thing. Is like I want to do a Tough Mudder. I want to do Spartan races. Like these are my new itch.
For a moment there, when you said a quadathlon and then you said throwing in, I thought you were about to be like throwing in the shot put or the javelin.
Yeah, dude.
I was about to be like, God damn.
You want to hear some? Because our conversation we had, I don't know if you remember, about a week ago about it sparks from our Scandinavian conversation.
Yeah. Yep.
So which brought me over towards like my heritage, which is Scottish and Irish, and I looked into they have the Highland Games in New England, in Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine. Dude, they got a little man version and a big guy version, which clearly I'm not jumping in the big man version. I want to mess with this.
I want to mess with
I think I want to do one of these guys.
See,
I get a badass kilt. I get to throw things around. I get to run stuff. I get to drink massive quantities of beer, and like, who doesn't love a good bagpipe? Yeah,
right. Well, so funny story there. When I was living in England, we would go up to Scotland like every 3 years or something like that for a vacation. It's, you know, like, did I ever tell you that I chipped one of my teeth is chipped?
From what? Like wrestling a goat in the Highlands?
No, it's from a dog in Scotland attacking me, and it chipped my tooth.
That's a better story.
Yeah, no. So like the place that we were staying, now that I started that story, the place that I was staying, there was the owner's dog was there, and I was playing around with him, and it just attacked me out of fucking nowhere. Like it jumped at me, like teeth out, like fucking, and it chipped my tooth.
And you killed it like Beowulf.
Oh, if I remember correctly, I think I definitely did something. I'm not going to say anything because, dear God, that's the last thing I need is fucking to say, you know, what if anything did happen.
We don't want PETA on us.
Yeah, right. I mean, I like animals as well, but I mean, if they attack, and it's a different story. But what I was going to get to though was that we went to Scotland every 3 years, and one of the years that we went up there, I remember being in this little store. And do you know what Warhammer is?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So they had Warhammer 4,000 or 40,000 kits in this store. They had kilts in this store, and they had bagpipes in this store. And I was like getting into Warhammer at the point. And my grandmother and me went into this store, and my grandmother was like, "You get one thing, and that's it." What? Guess nope. I picked the bagpipes, and to this day, they are at my parents' house, and I actually saw them a few days ago when I was over there looking for stuff.
Well, dude, I dove deep into the Google machine once I figured out that there was an American version of the Highland Games, and like they could trace your like line back. You could join a clan. I'm like, I'm trying to get in on because of COVID. I'm trying to get in on the 2021 Highland Games in New England to see if I can do this. Like, this is exactly what I was made for. Drink beer, throw heavy shit, and run. That's like, I'm doing this.
That's awesome.
I gotta find a sponsorship, but I'm gonna do it.
Have you ever done like an ancestry thing?
I did, but the problem is with the Angelos line dies after 3 generations in because somebody lost their papers when they decided to come through Ellis Island.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So
we think that our last name is even longer than what it is now. I don't know if I want to throw that out there, but
no, you're fine.
There's a lot of paperwork and there's a dead trail on the male side.
Listen, I mean, like my mom, me and my dad got my mom a kit from Ancestry.com, and then I got a kit, and then my dad got a kit, and I refused to update mine because it takes it from like 40% Scandinavian down to like 10.
Right.
So I refuse to update it because I don't want that to be updated yet.
Right. Because you have you get this like you get it passed down from your dad, his dad, and like they tell you certain things, and then you go and do this like DNA test, and you like I've heard these horror stories where it's like, oh, I was raised Italian, and then you find out like down the road you were like
German,
Russian,
yeah,
or Chinese, or something that has like no, and you're like, well, I guess I was like 5% Italian.
Well, like the funny thing was, is like I knew no matter what I was English, right? Like I knew it. I knew that it was a concentrated part in England. But then when we do the DNA test, we actually find out that it goes from England Scandinavian to English French.
Yeah.
Because my dad's side are French Canadian.
Yeah.
So when I recently clicked on it to see like what the updated results have found. And like it's there's just like one spot in England and then like a slow little line down into like France area. And I was like, all right. I was like, I kind of knew that anyway, you know. It's like but no, it's really cool. Those things are really cool.
There's ways that they could jump from English into French is not a huge
not at all
jump if you look at historical stuff. But like if you look at my last name, I know it's thrown up on like the
screen area
there, but like that's clearly a Greek name according to, so it would be my great grandfather, my dad's grandfather. He was the guy who showed up on the boat and didn't know his ass from his elbow, couldn't read, didn't speak any English. We don't even know if that last name is his last name, you know what I mean? You hear those stories when they show up through Ellis Island. It's just like a name gets turned from, you know, whatever to Smith or.
So that's I'm along the same lines.
Right, like we couldn't even we've every male has grown up and be like, oh, we're Greek, and then whatever the woman we've got with is, oh, we're Greek and blah blah blah, we're Greek and blah blah blah, and. We don't even technically know if we're Greek because of great grandfather not knowing his ass from his elbow when he showed up.
Jesus, I mean, it's one that you never would have really thought about. But when my grandparent, like when my great whatever parents came from Canada down to Vermont, they had to change their last name because it was Canadian. and it was French. So that was hated. Like, no one's going to do any business with you if that's like that sort of thing.
Yeah, for sure.
So it was kind of one of those, like, I never really would have thought of that, but like our name got changed to Greenwood at that point. But before then, it was actually Bouvert.
Yeah, see, like that's the stuff that
Like I had no
no
fucking
matter
idea about
what
this.
Ancestry.com is ever going to tell me, and all the pretty ancestry trees that I can
Mhm.
make, which is awesome, and I'm all about that. It's not going to tell you that true story unless you can.
Yeah, there's some point where like you have to kind of have already the history of it
Right.
to know that, because like my mom's done it, and my mom's done it all the way back. I think it's like either 5 or 7 generations, which is kind of fucking
Wow.
crazy.
That's nuts, because like not a lot of people can, unless you're like royal,
Hmm.
where like people are legit taking care of that stuff. That's hard to go back 5. Like
So-
I can only 3.5.
So my
generations.
my aunt has been able to go back 20 generations.
Jeez.
Meanwhile, though, mind you, as soon as it starts going all the way back to 20, she's found out that we are related to kings in Scandinavia, because of course everyone's related to a king or a queen, back in the day.
You're secretly the next in line for the Norwegian.
Yeah, right. So, so she found this. So she sent the pictures to my mom and dad. One of the people die, and then 3 years later, there's the kid being born.
Really?
And that happens 7 times in her version of it. Basically, she created her own version, is what it comes down to. Is it like, because just like things don't line up. If this lady dies and then she has a boy 7 years later,
It's not the math. I've never been a math guy. MAFF.
yeah, math.
That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, no. So we saw that and we just kind of joke around with it now,
Right.
But that's the other one as well. That's funny. I mean, it's funny as well. We go from biathlons to fucking ancestry, but nobody ever wants to be like, you know what? My great 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 grandfather, he was the king's ass wiper.
Right. Like for all I know, my grandfather was a drunk idiot. He just got like really shit faced and fell asleep on a boat and showed up in America. I was like, oh,
Yeah, right.
Well, guess I'll figure it out.
Oh, great grandma the 7th? Oh yeah, she was the best whore in the town.
She was the biggest whore on the side of the Mississippi.
Yeah, like you never find those stories. It's always like, this, like, it's like, like, yes, the thing, you should be the king of Latvia.
Yeah.
And it's like,
My great granddaddy invented toilet paper.
oh shit. All right, so moving on from Biathlon Triathlon to football. Football has kind of been in a weird state, I feel like, where like there's been some news, there hasn't been any news, and then there's been like monumental news.
Right. It's like we're gonna throw some shit at you. You're not gonna be able to process it. We're not gonna say shit for a month, and then hey, by the way, boom,
Yeah.
some more shit.
First off, let's start off with the basic. Cam Newton.
Yep.
What do you think?
Good old Cam. See, I struggle with this because all I do is tell, and you know me,
Mhm.
and hopefully what I've said in the previous podcast kind of relates to people, and I feel like I have the ability to, my opinion in football kind of carries a little weight. Cam Newton was picked up by the Patriots for stupid money. If you think just on business moves alone, you don't get a talent like that for that money ever. You have to jump on that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We can agree on that, right?
Yeah. The deal that was given, because I remember it happened. I think I was on stream playing Apex with the guys there, and it happened, and we started talking about it. It was either that day or it was the podcast or whatever, one of the days. Anyway, we talked about it a little bit, and it was like, yeah, for the money that they're giving him,
you're stupid not to take it. Like, you can't, regardless of how you think or how you feel about him as a man and all the other
Hate
BS
him.
that went along with his story, you don't get that kind of talent for that money ever.
No.
You better take it. And here's the other thing, is like, Belichick is either going to go win a Super Bowl with Cam Newton or he's going to cut him by next Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
or Thursday, depending on how Belichick's feeling. Whenever he gets them, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this could either be an Antonio Brown thing or this could be a Tom Brady thing. Either way, Belichick knows what the hell he's doing. The thing that drives me up a damn tree is what I like to call the New England Patriot fan base. Like,
Wait, you're telling me that there's a problem with the New England Patriot fans?
Oh, God, I can't stand it.
I agree. I mean, I wholeheartedly agree.
It's just, it drives me. Like,
other than, I will say the funniest thing was my dad sent me a picture, and it was of that, and he goes, "Tell me this is a fucking joke," and I was like, "Nope," and he goes, "Well, I'm a Ravens fan this year."
Well, big time. And then everybody's so quick to remember, like, legit 4 weeks ago, they were like, Jared Stidham's he's our guy. Like, he's gonna be the man. Now I don't even think people know Jared Stidham's even on the roster anymore.
See, that's because I agree. I think for the deal that was given to him, it's a no fucking brainer. I also agree that either one, he's going to go in a Super Bowl, or two, he's going to be cut in 3 minutes.
I just think as a guy who has, and plenty of my coaching buddies, and you're one of them, as a guy who has called plays and designs offenses, if you get a guy like Cam Newton, you're not going to be upset. Whether he's your number one guy or he's your backup, and you piece something together. Especially for the money he's made. I saw a meme the other day. It was like Chicago's paying.
Was it the Chase Daniels one?
No, who did they just sign?
Nick Foles.
Nick Foles. They just signed Chicago signed Nick Foles for $21 million, and the Patriots signed Cam Newton for less than what he made at Auburn.
Mm-hmm.
Like, LOL. He wasn't getting paid at Auburn, but, like, that's how cheap that they got him. Like, you take that money and you run regardless of what you think and feel about Cam Newton. And Cam Newton either has a choice. You either get on the ship, maybe go to the Super Bowl, or you get the fuck off and hope that you get picked up by San Francisco, Seattle, LA, or something like that, and hope you can revitalize your career there.
Yeah, I'm intrigued to see, like, because of course, like, you look at a lot of, like, the stuff with the Patriots, well, you know, it's clean cut. They do it like this. Do you think we're going to be seeing Cam Newton being as flamboyant and flashy and?
Absolutely not.
Like, I'm very intrigued because I think he's going to. I think he's going to push that, like, that's who he is, and they're not trying to let me be who I am. And eventually, it's either going to get him benched or cut. That's what I think is going to happen.
For fear of being too political, this is the perfect year for him to be able to do that sort of thing.
Oh, of course, but I mean, really, do you think Belichick's going to give a fuck?
Belichick's already moving on to his next opponent in New Orleans.
Yeah, you know, I mean,
he don't even give a shit.
Yeah, no, that right there was kind of one of the big ones. Jadeveon Clowney's still not signed.
See, that blows my mind. Now, there's for me to understand, and I know that Clowney is your dude. Like, that's your guy. You know what I mean? If there's a handful of guys that I know, and one of them I hate, who's your guy who went to Nebraska, but I know that Clowney's one of your guys.
Mm-hmm.
For him to not be picked up yet, even for cheap, and I don't think he's a guy who's like you.
So that's
kind of guy.
Well, that's the thing is
for him to not be picked up is a red flag. There's something else there that
so
we're not hearing about.
So he's asking for too much money. He has his price and he's not budging from it. And then if you look at his numbers, his numbers have steadily been declining, not the other way, where like other players have been like getting better. Clowney's actually been getting worse.
Right. That's why Seattle ended up getting him instead of sticking with Houston, right?
Exactly. Like, you know, so it's one of those things where one, he's asking for too much money, and people are like, okay, instead of paying you all this money, we're just gonna sign this rookie and see if he can do better for less money. And
right, it's an investment. Yeah.
I mean,
What's his? Do you have any idea what he asking for? Like first round money?
oh, he's asking for like fucking like top 5 DN money if I remember correctly.
Well, I mean, you can't even say DN anymore. You just gotta say pass rusher. He's not a
Yeah.
top 5 pass rusher in the NFL.
Let's see here. Bum, 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 bum. Here.
And for the people keeping track at home, the guy I was referring to who went to Nebraska, who I hate that you love, is Indomitian Sue. I
Yeah.
hate him. He sucks. He's a horrible person.
So Clowney wants 20 mil a season,
Jeez.
which is the same thing that Chris Jones is asking for right now.
So 20 million throughout whatever year or whatever yearly contract he comes up with.
Yeah. So I mean, he's had 12 sacks in the last 2 seasons.
That's you're literally the second, even tertiary pass rush guy. You're the reliever.
Yeah.
With those kind of stats.
Like
he'll sign. Is he willing to sign? And I know I'm speculating here, but is he willing to sign just a 1-year deal?
Well, like that's the thing is like I think he's looking for like
long term.
Yeah, like I'm like because I think it's the same thing with like Des Bryant. Des Bryant was offered a 3-year deal for I forgot what the contract number actually was, but it was a 3-year deal by Baltimore. Baltimore's like, we want you for 3 years, and he's like, nah, I'm good.
So he's looking for like Pepper's money when he went to Green Bay.
Mm-hmm. He's looking to get paid. Because if you think about it, he never did really get paid. He had his rookie contract, then he fucking sucked it up the last few years. Went to
he blew up on the rookie contract like a lot of people do, like Russell Wilson did with Seattle.
Then went to Seattle, and then Seattle was like, "Yeah, no, we're good, thanks." And then Seattle drafted like 3 DNs, and I was like, "Fuck you." I think that he needs to like calm down on the money because, like I said, are you taking Jadeveon Clowney or are you taking Chris Jones from Kansas City?
Not for that kind of money. I'm not taking Jadeveon Clowney.
Yeah, no. I mean, like the reason why I said like I'm saying those two is because they both want 20 mil a season.
I mean, you also got to think we are a solid 9 years away from him destroying that Michigan running back, right? Correct me if I'm wrong on that on the time.
It's something like that, but I mean it's like it's not the days of him doing that anymore.
Shoot, I couldn't tell you the last time he dominated a left tackle.
Well, like that's the thing is like it's you if you watch Jadeveon Clowney has turned into the guy where he will explode 7 times or 5 times a game, and that's it. Other than that, he's just he's moving around, he's going through the actions.
He's a contained guy. He's a solid, even front guy who's going to push everything back to his D tackles. Maybe a great compliment to a dude like Aaron Donald in LA, but he's not big money. He's not big money guy anymore.
No, I mean, and it's funny.
It might have been 4 or 5 years ago.
It's funny thinking about it because, like, think about it. Like, he came in and replaced Mario Williams, who is one of my favorite DNs of all time.
Another first rounder.
And, like, you look at it, Mario, like, did okay in Houston, but he popped off when he went to Buffalo and Miami. That was kind of when he started doing well, is when he left. Jadeveon Clowney popped off the first, like, year or two and then has just done fucking nothing since.
You want to know something crazy? Now that you say it, because I think of all the guys you talk about, I would love to see if there's, like, a Google search or something of Houston shooting on their first-round draft picks, those guys being good for like a handful of years, and then just dive bomb.
So right there we got Mario Williams, right? He did okay, but then he did. Yeah, I think he had good. I mean, of course, this is one where Jeff would be good here because like Jeff would know if it was a season or 2,
right,
in Buffalo. But then you have Jadeveon Clowney, good first 2 years, then stuck it up.
Sure, you got Cushing, yeah.
Cushing. I want to put J.J. Watt in there.
I still think J.J. Watt.
When's the last time he was fully healthy for a full season?
Right, but I'll take J.J. Watt for eight games a year as opposed to Jadeveon Clowney for 16 games. You know what I mean?
See, that's the thing is like I wouldn't.
Well, that's why Jadeveon Clowney's not getting paid $20 million for 1 year from me.
Oh, of course. I mean, my thing is just like I would rather have a guy there for the full season, even if his numbers aren't fantastic, versus a guy that's only going to be there for a certain amount of time, and then you know he's going to get injured. You know,
For the sake of me sounding like any other jackass on any other sports podcast, Jadeveon Clowney is not, he's not the guy anymore.
No, I mean it's like no,
sounding
it's
like Skip Bayless talking out of his ass.
Well, no, I mean you're not wrong. I mean, I would if it's me, I'm looking at it and it's like, okay, he's just ended his rookie contract. He's had 12 sacks in the last 2 seasons. Right. He's been injured, and now he wants $20 million a year. I'm going to draft at the end in the 3rd round after showing interest in him, just to say fuck you.
Because Clowney, shit, he's 2 years behind me right now, and I just complained about a knee.
Yeah.
So like, that's not worth what he wants money wise. If he's willing to come down, by all means, bro.
Yeah.
Take that.
So the Washington blank, because of course we don't know what the name is now.
The old Redskins. This is part of my Q&A. Can I jump ahead of you on this one?
Sure, go ahead.
So the Redskins want to change their name. I'm good for that. Like, all about it. My high school was called the Redskins. We changed to the Chiefs. The Chiefs are now, they're talking about changing that too. I'm all about that. What I want to ask you is I saw some stuff on the Minnesota Vikings changing their names because it is offensive / whatever you want to say. That's another topic. But how do you feel about it?
So of course, me and Sturgeon Jeff had like kind of a fuck around session in text messages about it, about how like I've seen so many fucking videos now. I don't know how many fucking videos it is where it's Native Americans saying that the Redskin term isn't really offensive and the team name isn't offensive, and it's more of a like they can they see it like cool, like that. Yeah, we're being represented.
Yeah.
And so like I'm a little bit both sided on it, because it's like, but so we were joking around with this because it's like everyone's getting offended by everything. It's like, so when do we lose the New England Patriots? Because you're not allowed to be a Patriot anymore, right?
Yeah, I can see that type of argument. And
so now how about the Cowboys?
The Cleveland Indians have put out a.
Oh yeah, I just saw that.
They're gonna change.
Yeah, I mean, you look at it, Dallas Cowboys. Then you go Kansas City Chiefs. Then you go the Minnesota Vikings. But then at what point then now do we start going, okay, well, the Raven is a symbol of death and was a primary use in the Viking age, and the Vikings, killed and slaughtered millions of people, so now we got to change the Vikings. The Falcon is a predatory bird.
It's there for Edgar Allan Poe.
Oh, of course.
You can make an argument for alcoholism.
But, it's like the Yankees, we got to change the New York Yankees.
Right.
It's like, at what point does it become, the Devils? We got to change the Devils.
For sure.
Can't change, got to change the Canadians because, that's promoting nationalism.
Right. I asked my buddy if the Chicago Blackhawks would end up being changed.
Like, at what point, this is one of those things that, because, of course, I'll gladly change my opinion if someone can actually, talk me into changing my opinion, right? But you're a big history buff.
Yeah.
In the civilizations where history is removed, those are the most intriguing history, kind of things, right? Because we don't know what really happened there. Like, for instance, Egyptian history. Like, a lot of places in Egypt, their stuff is smashed to shit and we can't tell what anything is.
Okay.
We're, doing stuff like that here is removing the history of stuff. Should stuff be removed? Yes. Stuff, to an extent, stuff should be removed. But at the same time, though, changing the name of the Washington Redskins to the Washington, whatever the fuck you want to call them at this point, is that really going to make any change?
Right. Well, and this is where I land, and I try not to. We don't want to ever make this a political thing.
Facts.
But where I land on anything that involves this type of how do I say this? This type of
Topic.
walking trend line, the
Hmm.
your tightroping. If this is going to offend someone, if this is going to upset someone, and I know there's going to be a bunch of people who are going to tell you, oh my God, like the this side, the left, the right, this side, that side is going to be upset. They're woke, blah blah blah. If something is going to visibly or physically upset someone, then maybe we need to have the conversation. I'm not saying that the conversation needs to result in A or B. I'm just saying the conversation needs to be had, and if it needs, if the term redskin needs to be taken off of an organization, do it. If Indians needs to be taken off of another organization, do it. If the Vikings needs to be taken off, then we have that conversation as well. We have the conversation, and we come to an agreement and figure something out. But we got to have a good conversation about it.
Well, of course, and like,
And then you run on the other end, you run the risk of going, oh well, we're going to get rid of this, just like you're suggesting. Get rid of this, get rid of this, get rid of this, get rid of this. Everything's offensive. Now we can't even be the Washington oak trees because that's going to offend people who are fans of trees. I don't, you know what
well,
I'm
yeah,
saying?
like, and that's like, I feel like we're getting more towards that aspect of things than the other. I mean, like the Redskins has always been a hot topic issue
Right.
for
It
years.
has. I've personally, I was the last class to graduate from my um, high school as and I'm doing air quotes again, as a Redskin, and then they changed to the Chiefs, and
Hmm.
now now the topic is to change from the Chiefs, and so maybe the Kansas City Chiefs should have that conversation too.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's the thing is like
That's great.
it's.
Have the conversation,
My,
but you're absolutely right.
I mean, like, and like one of my longtime followers, Geis Redskins Planet. He sent me the messages about it. I didn't even realize that FedEx like had said this. If I didn't like look this up, I wouldn't have known for a few days. He started sending me all this stuff, and he's like he's not for it.
Right.
You know, and he's a Redskins fan, and
Get
but like,
that.
and he's like he's been sending me stuff of like Dan Snyder like donating millions to Native American like funds and this and
I
that.
get it.
You know, and
I
like
don't get it.
and that's the thing. Like I'm it's such a weird issue because like you said, like at what point does it become? And now today we have Washington playing Seattle, and then they come out and it's just it's just the red and yellow versus the blue and
I get that. I get that. But if you take it to a whole nother level, and this is like it gets to the Confederate stuff and the flag
hmm
and like why people are getting rid of that. Like for some people, that flag could be a symbol of hate and slavery and this, that, and the other thing. And then other people will think, oh, I'm super proud of that. My granddaddy flew that in the Battle of Bulge in World War II because he was from South Carolina. The South Carolina flag, I believe, has a Confederate flag in it. Like, you get into that whole debate. But, like, the conversation needs to be had. And
Oh,
I'm
of
all
course.
for the conversation, just like every other topic I've ever landed on when it comes to politics, and I don't want to get
Yeah.
into it too much, but like we can have the conversation, and this country needs to have a conversation about whatever it is and however it is and where anybody lands on it. And we have the conversation with intellectual people, with people who aren't going to lose their minds and go radical right, radical left, and land somewhere in the middle, and hopefully have a compromise and figure it out. And that's my uneducated opinion on all of it.
Yeah, I mean, like, I agree with that. My like the other like, and I just want to one last thing to touch on this that I find the weirdest thing about this whole thing is the fact that it's not organic. If this was an organic thing where it's just like Dan Snyder's like, you know what, we're thinking about changing the name, then I'd be like, all right, that kind of cool, like But the fact that FedEx was like, we're gonna remove our name from this unless you
Yeah, you're
change,
talking about a pressure thing.
like at that point, then it's like,
Yeah, yeah. You're talking about a pressure thing that a lot of people and a lot of companies are going through right now.
yeah,
There's there's companies where I have friends and I have exposure to where people are having um, meetings on what it's like to have bias or to have privilege compared to other people, and that's what's going on right now. And my point is, what I'm trying to say is I'm open to it. If people need to have this conversation, have it. We'll have the conversation. Just let's do it with open minds and figure something out. And if we can figure something out and solve a problem, let's do it. If not, we'll talk about it some more. That's just kind of how I feel.
Exactly. The one thing I will say though, is that I saw one, because of course as soon as it started happening, all fucking concept artists lost their shit because now they can just fucking sit back at home and create new concept ideas for for the team.
Yep.
The one that I saw that was kind of the coolest was changing it to the Washington Red Tails.
The Red Tails. All right.
Right. So of course you know about the Red Tails. So I liked it because like it was changing it to the Red Tails. The colors stayed the same. It's just changing the logo.
So from a spear to a foxtail.
So it was. I think the way that it showed it was like I think it was a W and an R. I'll have to find it. There's been a bunch of different versions of it, but like it's like I think it's kind of a cool change, especially considering that they like literally just saying like the only thing we're changing is the logo and the name. Everything else, the uniform, all of it stays the same. And then also the HTTR that everyone knows, the Hail to the Redskins thing.
Yeah.
That can stay because now instead of Redskins, it's Red Tails.
All right. I mean, yeah, we'll have to talk about it, figure some things out. But that sounds like if you keep the colors, like when my high school changed, we kept the colors, we kept the logos, we kept everything. We just changed the physical wording from Redskins to Chief, and that's it.
And that's the other side of it is like I saw on Twitter because of course Twitter's.
But where do you draw that line?
Twitter's a fucking nightmare place.
I tried my best to not go onto Twitter.
I go to Twitter. I post my stuff. I leave Twitter.
My thing about Twitter is people are starting to live into this culture where you express yourself and you express a what should be about 3, 4, or 5 pages long in 200 something characters, and it can be misconstrued and warped and manipulated, and I try to stay off Twitter as much as I can.
So one of the ones was saying to change it to the Washington Warriors and go back to the 1960s uniforms with the spear.
Yeah, right.
And then the people online were, well, that doesn't actually change anything. That you don't understand the point if you're behind this. And it's like, well, it's like, all right. It's just like I said, I think you're right. There needs to be a full discussion, but at the same point, it's like at what point does appeasing a few people?
Right. And I think the more specific you can be, the more detail oriented you can be on what is what and what offends what and what is offensive, the better. I think the less the more vague you are, the more you are open for interpretation and offensive decision making you come up with. So it's just you can be precise and decisive in your decision making when you have these conversations with people.
Yeah.
Hopefully you can figure something out. And this is coming from a guy who doesn't know anything, doesn't know his ass from his elbow, and that's it.
So Jeff in chat just wrote, bring back Shane Falco. So we changed it to the Washington Sentinels.
Well, Shane Falco can't win a Sugar Bowl for the Ohio State Buckeyes, so he can't do that.
You never know. I mean, maybe he can beat out Haskins.
Nope. Can't even beat out JT Barrett.
Can't even beat out JT Barrett.
Terrell Pryor.
Oh.
Or Troy Smith. Or Todd Beckman.
God, look at you throwing out a bunch of names. I completely forgot about Troy. Jesus. It's been a while.
Troy's a Heisman Trophy winner.
So now, moving on from football to Q&A with Zutie.
Oh, this is going to be a good one. I'm so excited. I was looking forward to this. And I'm super glad that Jeff is logged on. This is gonna be a good one.
Great.
Let me bring this one up here. All right. So first question.
All right.
This was from yours truly. What got you logged into this? Like, what made the podcasting life your thing, and where do we want to take Husky Nation?
The podcast was just kind of, it was like one of those things where I in the streaming world, there's like there's a few different ways that people do it. One of them is that you play one game. That's what you play. Like a lot of people, it's like, I'm a Fortnite streamer and they just fucking play Fortnite, or I'm an Apex streamer and I just play Apex. I struggle to play games for long periods of time. So I was a variety streamer, and this is the funny thing. This is actually the second iteration of the effing title. I actually did the effing title last year, and I think I did maybe 5 or 7 episodes, and it was just me, and it was an hour. I limited it to just an hour, 15 minutes each talking point, and I was just talking about like the DC TV shows. I was talking about shit that was going on in my life, esports and football, because at the time that was when the AAF was around. So my thing was just like I wanted to be a variety streamer, so I wanted to do a ton of different stuff. And I thought that a podcast would be an interesting one, because like I've always liked talking with people. I mean, I think you know that.
Right.
Yep. And I have a lot of very interesting friends, is the best way I'm going to put that.
Yeah, interesting. We need to like capitalize that.
Yeah.
Interesting things.
So I thought that a podcast would be kind of a cool thing, just because it would be something that I can get a bunch of people on. I can, we can talk about random shit. I have a good, rapport with people, and it's just like I thought it'd be something interesting and fun for people, and then also with me doing more YouTube stuff now, I thought it'd be an interesting one to do on there, because then it's just like, boom, I put it up on there. Anyone can watch it at any point, because after 60 days, stuff on Twitch gets removed.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, if I put it on YouTube, boom, unless I get fucking banned off of YouTube, which hasn't fucking happened yet, so I don't think it will. Yeah.
Could happen.
I was like, put it on there and it lasts fucking forever. And then, like, what's next for the Husky Nation?
Where do we want? I think that's what a lot of the people that I talk to, we want to know where's Husky Nation going, because we're all big fans. We love it, and for people like me who aren't like hip like Jeff and Sturge and a lot of your super devoted fans, like we want to. Where's the title taking us? Where's the whole podcast thing going?
So I mean, really, like. The podcast is kind of, it's a aspect, right? It's a part of the thing, because I have, like, if you, like, for instance, I go to the YouTube side of it, because that is kind of where it shows it. I have the weekly series. I have Husky unboxings. I have Husky movie reviews, which is unfortunately going to be canceled in a little bit.
Dude, the unboxings make me want to drop $50,000 on cookies and good.
Well, that's the thing, is like, so like, okay. I got that. I got Husky Reacts, which is actually, Husky Reacts is the best thing about my YouTube channel view wise. So I've been trying to do a little bit more on that side of it. But I mean, really, it's the thing of, is having good discussions, is having good talk, like just good topics, good times, and it's just being able to talk with people that, like, I don't, like, you and me talk every now and then, but like for this time we get to talk for like an hour or 2, 3, and no one's done. Well, we almost did 3 when we did the mock draft.
Right. It's pretty cool though, because like people tune in and listen to you and me spout off dumb stuff. It's great.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's one of those things where, like, eventually, as things go on, like, I would love to get to a point where I can be like, it's like, and this week the guest is like Rocco, or this week the guest is Donnie, or this week it's Arkel, just it's the different guys that we did stuff with that, like, have gone on to do all these different things that are really fucking cool things that people just kind of don't know about. And like, I feel like there's a lot of people just from college that have gone on to do certain things that are very outside of what a lot of people think. You know, and that's why it's kind of cool bringing in the topics. You know, biathlons, triathlons was something I never thought I would be spending 30 minutes talking about.
Well, that's because you got a psycho friend who does one. That's all.
But yeah, I mean, well, that's the thing, though. I mean, like, you know, but so that's kind of the thing is like moving forward. It's you know, hopefully better quality. You know,
Yep.
it's the quantity is there. I've got videos. Shit, where do I have videos till? Let me bring this up real quick on my screen here. Apparently, I didn't have it up. I have YouTube content until mid-October.
Let me ask you this: is there any way, and I know you do it all the time, but if you could plug it right now, a way to get Husky Nation merch, that'd be cool.
So funny thing you're saying that. So one of the things, and it's I'm a big Easter egg guy. Okay, I don't know if you know that or not. I love Easter eggs. Big DC guy, tons of Easter eggs in most of the DC movies. Big Easter egg guy. I've been wearing this shirt, I think, for every podcast but 2.
For sure.
And this is the main shirt that I have. The funny thing is, now that you mentioned that, I actually just deleted every single item in my store. Because I'm revamping the store. I'm redoing it.
Ooh.
The last few times that I've purchased from the place, the store and everything that I have, they've messed the colors up. So this shirt is actually the can't fuck this shirt up version, and I think they even did fuck it up if I remember correctly. I think there's like a line where like there's like a strand on there, so it's like it's not fully there. But I have a few different ideas. Of course, the next big one will be Halloween. I'll be bringing back the Halloween merch for the month of October, with a new design as well. But like yeah, the merch is it's something that I've always found interesting. I have on my Instagram a little section where people who buy the merch, I put up the picture of them. I ask them to take a picture of them wearing it. So like I have a picture of Hitchcock with a one-off hoodie on.
Yes, I've seen it.
Yeah. You know, so like I'm eventually like we're gonna get back to that point. It's just that I need to look at what is available for me to make, and then also what I want to make, because like all the stuff that I just deleted, I had 4 different shirts for guys. I had a hoodie, I had a zip-up hoodie, I had sweats. I had 4 different women's shirts.
Yep.
So I want to kind of revamp everything, you know. So, and I've been wanting to do it for a while. It's just like literally right before we got on, I decided I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna get on and just delete everything, because then it's like there's one shirt. That's this shirt right here that I have on right now.
Right, to revamp it.
So I can start revamping stuff. But yeah, so the merch will be revamped,
so
and
be on the lookout in the near future for new Husky Nation gear.
I would say maybe by the end of the month, maybe.
Nice.
If I remember.
All right, so here's a question that I got from the lady viewership.
Oh.
How long does it take to grow a Husky Nation beard like the one you have? How long have you been working on that guy? What are you doing? How does it look so smooth and slick?
Well, thank you for noticing. God, I'm trying to think now. Because when I first started streaming, I think I had... Man, now that you say that, I fucking can't. It's either been a year or 2, or it's been a year. I can't fucking remember which one now. But yeah, no. Of course, ever since after leaving Norwich, I grew my beard out. I normally grow it out. I'll trim it up every now and then. And that's the thing is like I remember trimming it well, not recently, but I remember trimming it up, but I don't remember when. Yeah, no, it's just, I actually just got, and it's gonna be a video. Oh god, let me find out when this video is dropping. August 19th, for all you guys out there. It's the Viking Revolution unboxing and review. Where it's all beard stuff, it's oil, it's balm. There's actually shampoo and conditioner, which is a new big thing I've been on for my beard. But it's a routine of shampoo, condition, and then I use oil, and I don't use the balm that much, because the more I've read about balm is more for shaping it, but then also for a smaller beard or a more dense beard, where mine is a little bit longer and a little stragglier. But I mean, yeah, that's more more just kind of unkept, like as some of the troll viewership that I have has said, before I ban them, why do you look like a hobo?
We need to keep them around. The haters keep it going.
Oh yeah,
All right, so here's another one. What is an acronym that describes this podcast?
I can't even. What the fuck is that word that you just said?
So, ASAP, as soon as possible.
Okay.
That's what describes your podcast in that format.
TFT.
Which means?
The effing title.
Perfect. We're moving on. Love it.
Or, let's see, I mean, FBS, fucking bullshit.
Me drinking with my buddies and recording it?
Yeah, I mean...
All right, so we'll get back to the podcast. So what's the most challenging thing that you have to do? Because I don't think a lot of people understand what entails, like what you have to go through to get this bad boy up and running. And even just you calling and getting me lined up, like what it takes. What's the toughest thing about making the effing title work? Episode 23. Let's jump to episode 23. Like, what's that entail? What's the toughest part?
Well, so the first thing is, like, finding a guest. The guest is the biggest one, and then it can be the toughest one as well, because, like, sometimes guests will back out because of circumstances that have happened, or they've just mistimed it, or a guest will show up late. Those are all big ones. So the guest is kind of the really big issue, because it's not like with, like, Rogan, where, like, he's fucking sitting across from the guest.
Right, like you would see in like Joe Rogan.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's one of them. The other one is sometimes the topics. Sometimes people will either suggest topics that I'm not 100% with, or I'll change them to make them a little bit a little bit different. Biathlons. Well, no, I mean, like, that one's fine. I mean, like, there's been some before where like it's a very specific thing that literally could like take like 3 minutes to talk about, and that's it.
Yeah.
And if you change it just enough, then you can make it into a 20-minute, 30-minute thing just by changing that little bit. The other thing is all of this stuff here that you see, like all the writing and everything, isn't a program. I actually make these all on my Logo Maker website that I use.
Yep.
And so doing that is one of the big reasons why I normally ask the guests to like get me their topics in really early, is so I can make all those on that website, download them, get them saved in the right files, make sure everything looks right, make sure everything's, where it needs to fucking be. Other than that, it's just kind of, it's like sometimes like reading up on stuff for the topics, or writing down topic, questions, I mean, like tonight's ones were really easy because it was just like, the questions were very easy to ask her, but like sometimes some of them can be like a little bit more difficult depending on the topic, Yeah. So I mean, those are that's the biggest thing. And then the thing that people don't see and don't know is that as soon as the podcast gets over with, either I'll hang around and talk with the person that I'm with, or we just get off and that's it. Then it's a 20 to 30 minute wait to download the podcast off of Twitch. It's then about an hour to 2 hours, depending on how long the podcast is, to make the actual video, because I got to add the intro, outro. I got to change a few things if I need to. And then after that, then it's uploading it to YouTube, which can take up to 2 hours. So I think the latest I've been up to was, I think it was 3:30 in the morning before I actually got to bed after a podcast.
Right.
So it's a little bit of the stress of it, after the podcast, which is kind of the biggest thing. But
there's a lot of time in, time out.
Right? Oh yeah, I mean it's kind of
only see what you're throwing out there right now. They don't see the before and after.
Yeah, I mean, and it's kind of like it's kind of like with with coaching. Like there's a lot of time that is put in behind closed doors that you don't see at that one moment. It's the same thing with streaming. There's a lot of stuff that happens behind closed doors. Like the majority of my morning I was clipping and getting footage from this past Monday's video, so I can make a video that goes up Wednesday.
Right, and people aren't even seeing it. Like, if we're just talking about just the effing title, like, we're not even taking into account that you're clipping up the stuff that you're doing each game. Like, you're doing 4 or 5 games at a time. Then you're not just throwing it out there. You got to make it look nice, and then on top of that, you got to figure out. You got to bring some dummies on here that you think are going to be entertaining for your viewers.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, like, and like the worst time or the toughest time is once it starts getting towards the end of December, because for the first 12 days of the new year, I do the 12 days of Husky, which I upload the yearly highlights from the previous year. Because I watched a bunch of other streamers, they do like one video that's an hour, or like they do like a video that's an hour and a half, or they do like a video or two. And I'm sitting there like, I play so many fucking different things and do so much different stuff. I was like, I ain't doing that. I'm doing a fucking video a day for 12 days. And on the 12th day, because of course my birthday's on the 12th day, I was like, on the 12th day, I put up the video that I like the most. Like that sort of thing. So like those days, like creating that video takes 4 fucking ever, because for instance, if I go look at like the Apex like folder that I have, which I have all my clips from the beginning of the year. I have 475 clips.
Jeez.
So if I go all the way through these, here, properties, that is frozen. Okay. So I can't actually tell you. But it's a certain amount of fucking, like it's probably going to be like over a day or two of time. So now I have to look through all of those, find the clips that I think are the best clips out of 475 clips, and then make it into a video that's going to last between 15 and 20 minutes.
And that's the thing, is I wanted to ask people, or I wanted to let people know like what goes into this, because I really don't think people understand the amount of work and effort that it's literally like you said, it's just like when we were coaching, like people only see the 4 hours on a Saturday or a Friday night. Nobody understands the Sunday through Friday or Saturday game planning.
Yeah, the game planning, the practicing, the watching film, it's like, yeah, they don't see all that, Because I remember, like a year ago, I was talking with someone, and they were saying, Daniel Jones sucks, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, yeah, I was like, he wasn't that good, but I mean, like, he doesn't suck. And like, we're watching a video, and it's like, the very first clip I see, it was like a play action, like it may have been like a play action off of power, and he throws it to the fullback in the flat, and the fullback's wide open, gets like 15 yards. And the person was like, "Oh, well, that's just because it's a play action. Everyone falls for that, and there was no one out there. No one was covering him." And I was like, if you watch watch back again. I was like, don't watch him. I was like, because the other thing was like, well, his release was sloppy. His steps were sloppy. This was sloppy. I was like, no. I was like, look, watch the middle linebacker. The middle linebacker steps up into the hole, immediately turns and runs to the fucking sideline. Guess who he was covering?
Yeah, he's fine.
And it's like, I'm sitting there like, it's like, it's not always looking at one person or the two people or the play. It's looking at the whole fucking thing, And of course, I saw that immediately. But this person was like, there's not a single good thing from this. And I was like, that's a great fucking play. I was like, that's just, that defender sucks. But yeah, no, there's a lot that goes on behind closed doors that people don't see. Like, streaming isn't as simple as everyone thinks it is, because you're playing the game, you have to be entertaining while playing the game, and you have to be like interactive with chat. And it's one of those things, like, I'm still a very small time streamer, but like trying to do those things is a lot more difficult than a lot of people think.
Oh, for sure. But that's all I got as far as Q&As with old Uncle Zutie. Also, I don't want to add to any more of your editing and breakdown time. But
oh no, I mean, if you got more, ask it, bro. I'm all for it.
I just threw it out to the kiddos. Everything else is just kind of silly, but we can jump up to the next one if you want.
No, ask the silly stuff. Let's go. I'm intrigued.
All right, let me see what they got.
Because I'm used because this is the other thing.
This is from your boy Jeff.
Oh, great! Here we go.
You were given $100,000. how would you spend it towards the effing title?
Towards the effing title or towards stream?
Toward either or.
Okay.
Yeah, towards streaming.
$100,000. Honestly, you know what the first thing I'm doing is I'm buying a house. I'm buying a house. Taking out a good portion of that money. Just because then what I can do is I can do the goal that I would love to be able to do, which is basically have a stream set up in like every room.
There you go.
Because I think that would be kind of cool to do cooking streams. To do, of course, and it would help me get back in shape doing a yoga stream. I would buy an actual PC and that sort of stuff so then I could have a little bit more power behind my stream and stuff.
Which would I know I've seen you cook before. I'd be all about cooking.
See, that's the thing is like I think it would be funny because like me cooking is literally just like me putting stuff on the stove, pressing the timer, and then dancing around for a few minutes.
All hardy meats, all dead animals. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I mean, like, you know, it'd be great. But yeah, no, I mean, like that's like I would basically like I would get a house so that I could do more. I would buy an actual PC, so I'm not off my laptop. And then if I had anything left over, because I mean, what if I had like 10K left over? I mean, I don't know how much video editors and all that cost, but fuck, I'll just buy myself a video editor, like person, not like an actual editor program. I mean, like a person to do all my video editing for me. I mean, like I it's very easy for me to spend money. I don't think people fully understand how easy it is for me to be able to spend money.
Yeah, anybody can spend $100K if we want to be silly,
But yeah, no,
that was the last one, and that was brought to you by Old Fedge.
Okay, fair enough. So then moving on after the Q&A with Zutie, the newest installment, which has been a new staple here, I think it's a really good one as well, which is My Life as a...
And that's where I fill that in?
Yeah, I got my hand out like...
Right, yeah, so I'm obviously a prep school offensive coordinator. I also work as an independent living teacher at Troubled Youth for one of the bigger companies in New England with kids who have trouble completing high school, whether that be truancy, whether that be trauma-induced stuff, or whether that be any issues at home. We have a saying that we work with New England's worst kids in each high school, and I do quotes on that one. We take troubled youth in, we house them, and hopefully when it's all said and done, we get them out and graduated, and when they're 18, they're on and move out with for the better. That's my life.
So I always thought that you worked at because I knew that's what you did, but I thought you worked at like a school doing that. I didn't realize that they come there to do that.
Yeah, it is a residential program. I
Wow.
am a academic faculty. I am their adult living or independent living teacher.
Okay, so what does that like entail?
So aside from the teachers who teach them, their math, their basic curriculum, their math, their English, their social studies, I teach them pretty much everything that's going to get them, okay and ready to go with life. I teach them how to find safe and affordable housing, teach them how to develop a resume, how to get a job, how to handle an interview, how to balance a checkbook, how to handle money and budget, and how to prepare to own a car or handle an apartment or a lease. That's basically what I do. I handle everything that is kind of going to make them more independent and be okay and kind of move out into the world and be all right.
I mean, like
That's pretty much what I do.
I feel like that is a huge thing that is, and of course, I'm not 100% on this, but from what I know from the years coaching that I heard from other coaches that did work within the school, that's a huge thing that's like just in general, schools don't have
Oh,
or.
it gets skipped. It used to be covered in home economics way back like when our parents
Mm-hmm.
were in school. If I had my way, there would be a instructional independent adult living just type of class in every public school. Um, just I covered 2 weeks ago just how to fill out a W-4 form, just doing taxes, and how to write a check, how to void a check, just stuff that you take for granted. And I know we live in an automated world where everything is, online and digital, but like just the little things that these kids don't get exposed to or have zero clue. I had a kid who just didn't know how to get his driver's license. And
Yeah,
I'm like, well, you need an ID, you need a state ID. Whether you drive or you don't, like, we need to get you an ID. You're of age, we need to do that for you. And just kids don't understand that, nor are they. I mean, you and I both came up. We kind of had to figure it out on our own. Sure, our parents showed us some things, but we kind of had to figure out credit scores and how to properly use a credit card. And you either spend a lot of money and screw it all up, or you figure it out right away. And you know, it's a muddy world, and I think a lot of kids can benefit from a class or something like this.
agreed, agreed. Because I mean, like even just the just those two that you said, like I don't have a credit card.
Right.
I've never I know because like one of the people that I work with has had credit card problems. I know other people where it's like I'm in credit card debt till I'm like 40, and I'm sitting there like as soon as I heard all that stuff, I'm like I'm good.
Right. Well, if you
Like
handle it the right way, you can get in front of it, and that's the thing with kids is a lot of kids think a credit card is just uh, a free little swipey,
hmm
and I'll pay for it later. That's for future me to figure out, and that's not necessarily the case because the credit score is going to go. If you put it in layman's terms, that credit score is going to decide whether you get a house or you get a X, Y, and Z, and it's important to know that stuff. And kids, they're not aware of it, you know. And each day when I get into work, I get my happy ass up at 4:45, and when I get to my kids in the morning at 6 o'clock and run their morning routine, I, I'm like, I got to make sure little Johnny and little Jim and little whatever are going to be good. I don't care if they don't know their math or their arithmetic and
hmm
their ELA. Like that'll come. They'll learn that stuff. I need to make sure little Jimmy can do his hygiene, do his room standards, make sure he's not stinky. Make sure he knows that he needs to get up and do his hygiene stuff. Make sure that he knows how to get himself to and from school, which will translate into to and from work. Shows up on time, is attentive. Like that's the stuff I care about. It's
yeah,
all the stuff that is gonna keep them in a job once they get a job. That's my job, and that's what I fight every day. And I don't have your typical kids. I have your troubled youth who are going to tell you to go pound sand and kick rocks literally every second
hmm
in a not so nice manner that I just said. And that's what makes it difficult. But that's on the other hand is what makes it so rewarding is I can get an 18-year-old kid out of here who I can say, you know what? Jimmy's going to be all right. I know he knows how to find an apartment and a job. He worked on his resume. He'll be all right.
yeah. I mean,
And that's
and
kind of
like
what it's
and I mean, and it works really well. I think it works really well for you too because I mean, like you have practice with this with me. Our second, fifth year. Um, you know, making sure that I went to school on time. Making sure that I didn't
Yeah.
smell. So I mean, like yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
Greenwood, get your happy ass up. We're going to class.
yeah.
It's 6 o'clock. We're going to get breakfast, right?
Um, Yeah, no, I mean I mean, like, and it's like I can see how that's very rewarding. And almost the same way with, getting a freshman kid all the way through, football, and then as soon as then having him, leave, like, it's the same rule. I can see that that's really cool. So what are the big, um, excuse me, sir, I have a podcast going. You slow your small dick down. Jesus.
The guy's got a big engine outside.
Yeah,
Nothing.
big engine, small something else. Um,
Yeah.
so like, what are some of the big problems, kind of things that you have to deal with if you can go into those that you might have to deal with like on a day basis?
Yeah, so the big thing is like I also double as a behavioral therapist or a
Hmm.
behavioralist. I handle, like I told you, we have the kids who are, this is trauma induced. This is kids who are going to act out. They're going to not just tell you to F off. They're going to physically want to be aggressive, or something is me telling them that they're not doing something right in math is going to result in them looking at me like dad is going to punch me in the face. So those kids get physically aggressive. I also have to deal with those behaviors along with one other guy. And that's where things can get physical in the workplace, and we have to deal with those things and therapeutically help those kids manage through those behaviors or those acting out behaviors. We have to deal with those. And that's where the, the job can be stressful and can be strenuous on your mental health and your physical health, and that's where you have to walk the fine line in this profession.
I mean, like everything that you've said so far, I wholeheartedly feel like that needs to be in everywhere, school
Yeah,
wise. Like, I mean, like it's just like it, like I had kids, that left, and it's like, and I was like, so what do I do now, coach? I'm like, it's like, well, are you gonna go get a job? Are you gonna go to college? Like, what are you gonna do? Like, I don't know. And I don't know. I feel for a lot of the kids around here because a lot of the stuff that like you've talked about so far tonight, and other stuff they haven't ever dealt with or know how to deal with. You know what I mean?
yeah, and that's the thing is like is we try to reiterate this with these kids is you're validating what you feel. You have every right to be mad at me, whether it's right, wrong, or indifferent. You're allowed to be mad. You can feel mad at me, but we need to work on how we're going to express and how we're going to feel or how we're going to react to me telling you you have to do this hygiene standard. You
Hmm.
have to do this class, whether you like it or not. Nobody likes to do math. There are
Facts.
some people who like to do math. I hate math, but like you're right in being pissed off, and you can think that you want to tell me to pound sand. You can think that all you want. We need to work on how you're going to act and how you're going to react to this, and get make sure you fit into the social norms outside in the world. Because when you're working at wherever, and your boss tells you got to do X, Y, and Z, and you tell him to f off or you punch him, what's going to be the outcome? You're
Yeah.
going to get fired, or you're going to get an assault charge. You're going to be right back into placement, or, and I'm doing air quotes, back into the system.
Hmm.
So how do we get you out of that type of reaction? And this is all trauma induced, and it's all um, their reaction and how they've been brought up, whether they've had a lack of stability in home, or a many numerous type of uh, reasons why they're the way they are. And we have to figure that out and rewire these guys and make sure they're okay by the time that they're 18, that they are functional and good and can fit into social norms and into social situations and not lose their cool and end up screwing their lives up, for lack of a better term.
Yeah. I mean, like I think out of most of the people that I know, I think you're one of the better ones that you should be doing, doing this job. Now that you've, like, of course, like I said, I kind of knew what you did, but I fully didn't know after, just hearing everything just then. Yeah, no, like this is something that's great for you, bro. Like, this is something that like is right up your alley.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of these things where it's like we're getting these kids, and it's us or it's juvenile detention slash you turn into your 18 and you go to big boy jail. Like
Hmm.
for a lot of these kids, I'm the last. The buck stops at me. If I can't make them figure this out, one, their lives are over, and two, like I need to figure it out. If I can't figure it out and help them figure it out, I'm setting little Johnny, who's 16 years old, up to turn 18 and physically assault someone, or do something, or say something that's going to result in little Johnny being incarcerated, and then perpetuating that into 35 to life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I try to meet every kid, and yeah, there's some difficult days where I got to have some heartfelt conversations with myself as I drive home to recollect and rejuvenate myself before I walk into my house. And but like that's part of the job.
Hmm.
You understand that I'm trying to change a life with a certain kid, and hopefully I can do something towards that. Because for every one kid that I feel good, like, ooh, he's going to be all right, there's maybe 5 or 6 other kids that I wasn't able to fix or help out. And
Yeah.
that's the heartbreaking part of it, is you get a kid who leaves our program or ages out, and you're like, I hope I don't see him on the news, or I hope I don't see in a report that he ended up in jail.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I can only imagine what that must be like. Um, yeah, no, man. I mean, like I said, I wholeheartedly do feel like that is something like your role as like as a teacher provider there. That is something that needs to just be a general thing. I feel like it's something that just a lot of people don't have. So like one of my coworkers at one point was like, yeah, I went home and things got things got heated and then a chair got thrown.
Right.
And I'm like, that's not how you fucking deal with it. And it's like, well, that's how we do it. I was like, no, it's like, that's how fucking TV deals with it. I was like, that's what, like,
Right.
this show does. I was like, that's not how you fucking deal with this healthily. And, like, they were trying to make, like, a reason for, like, no, this is perfectly healthy.
Right. And
And,
that's 101 with what we do there, is like we have to take a kid who needs to be put in management because he tries to assault his teacher,
mhm,
or he escapes a room because he feels insecure, and it brings up past things, and I got to go find him and figure out what's going on. Or I get a kid who doesn't want to shower or do his hygiene because something happened in the shower when he was little. And
mhm,
I like that's the stuff we deal with.
yeah,
But I need to make sure that this stuff, like, I need to make, well, that's what I care about, is getting this kid and making sure he's fully functioning and ready to go and can attack his adult world. And that's the end goal.
yeah,
And if we're behind on one thing, if it's math, sure. I just want to make sure that he's good and picks up on social cues and can handle stuff. Because we do get a lot of trauma-induced kids, and we're trauma-informed faculty and teachers, and that's what we do. And that's the end goal. And that's what kind of makes us get up and attack the day at 4:45 on a Monday morning.
yeah. I mean, like I said, I've said it before to you. I think just in messages, that's fucking awesome. I mean, the stuff that you're doing is awesome.
Well, I appreciate that. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, there are some days where you feel like you're fighting an uphill battle, but if you can get one kid to say, "Hey, like, I can find an apartment," or "I know what I'm doing," or "I am taking showers now," as
Hmm.
silly as that sounds, or like, "I know how to balance a checkbook," or another kid who's like, "You know what? I like math. I
Mhm.
really enjoy numbers," or like, "I love social studies. This is great. Maybe I want to go to college. Maybe I want to join the military." Maybe like they start thinking about the future instead of starting to thinking about where my next meal is, or am I going to take a shower today, or like when kids
Yeah.
start thinking about the future instead of start thinking about, is my dad going to beat me, or is this person going to do this to me, or will I have a next meal, or am I going to be able to shower? When kids can start thinking about the future instead of worrying about what the hell is going to happen to them in the next 5 minutes, that's when you start to
I mean, that's you're winning at
feel
that
like you're
point.
doing something.
Yeah.
And that's like the goal, and that's what I've been doing for the last 3.5, 4 years, and that's kind of what keeps me going in a very thankless job.
Yeah.
in a in a job that doesn't give you a lot of pats on the back, and I'm by no means looking for pats on the back, but like this is a very essential job. We've been working through COVID and this whole crazy pandemic this whole time because these kids have nowhere else to go.
Mm-hmm.
There's kids that if I don't show up every Monday through Friday, they'll lose their shit because they don't like I am their regular. I am their schedule. And if
Yeah.
I deviate from that schedule, it could throw a kid for a loop and have them regress. And
Mm-hmm.
I'll get off my soapbox now, but that's my spiel.
No, I mean, no, I mean, I'm fine with it. I mean, it's like because, like you said, it is a thankless job. I mean, like, there's been like, and of course, it's not to the same level, mind you, but like, um, the last year that I coached, right?
Yep.
We had a kid, and first time ever meeting him, he became one of my guys, and after school got over with, after I got fired and everything, and all that happened, he reached out, like, hey, everything okay? Like, what can we do? And I'm like, nope, just worry on you, make sure you're ready. And I remember messaging him at some point during the summer, being like, kind of just checking in on all the guys, because I'll do that every now and then. I'll check in on my guys,
Right.
depending on how long they've been out, just to see how they're doing, because I want to make sure these guys are doing well, in life. Um, I checked in on him at one point during the summer, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm getting ready to go to college." And I was like, "Cool," I was like, "So what are you doing in college?" He's like, "I don't know yet." He's like, "A lot of the teachers and everything told me that I should go to college, so I'm going to college." And as soon as I read that, I was like, "Oh, god damn it," And I was like, "All right." I was like, "Well, if you need anything, let me know." The typical kind of thing. But when I say it, I feel like you said earlier, like I feel like if I say "let me know," I feel like it carries some weight because like I will be there. Like just message me. Um,
That's what it's about. Yeah.
and midway through his first semester, he messages me and he's like, "I don't think I can do this." And I was like, "Yes, you can." I was like, "You're going through hard times. Your first fucking time, you can do it." I was like, "You're one of my guys. I put you through tougher times during football practice than what you're going through right now in fucking school." I was like, "You'll be fine." And like, I hit winter break, and he's like, "I think I'm going to drop out of college and I'm going to go to trade school." And I was like, "Is that what you want to do?" And he's like, "Yes." I was like, "Then I back it. Do it." And he's like, What?"
Absolutely.
Like he was kind of
It,
shocked. Like he was shocked. And I'm like, "Look," I was like, "If that's what you want to do, then do it." I was like,
right.
I'm never gonna sit there and be like, "Nah, you know what? I don't think you should do that."
Right. Right.
I was like, "No," I was like, "You want to do it? Do it." So then, like, I think it was like maybe a month later, I get a message from like, I just left. I just went to school, grabbed all my stuff. Kind of did the final sign out. And I'm, in a few weeks, I'm gonna head over here. Thanks for always having my back. You know, and it's kind of one of those nice ones because, like, yeah, sometimes you get it, sometimes you won't. But when you do, it's kind of like it's like, all right, I feel like I'm good and hoping. Last time I talked to the kid, he was having a blast doing it because it was exactly what he wanted to do.
Right.
It was just the fact that other people kind of was telling him like you need to do this, so that's what he did. Um, yeah, no, man, that's awesome. I'm glad that you found this because it's right up your alley. Uh, oh god, technical issues. Hold up a second. I've never had that ring before. God, that was loud.
Oh, I just got kicked off.
You're fine. Um, wow, that was a loud ring. Uh, uh, yeah, no, like I was just saying though, like I'm really glad that you found this because it fits you. Um, oh, what is going on here? Hello.
Hey you there. Sorry.
You're fine.
Are we back on?
Yeah, we're back. We're good.
Hmm. Sorry about
Um,
that.
yeah, no, you're fine. Not the first time I've got technical issues. First time I've gotten almost deaf though from a from the ringing on here. Um, but
We're we're good now.
yeah, we're good. So what I was saying though is that I'm glad that you found this because it suits you. Um, and I want to see my friends doing well in something that they like doing. So
Yeah, we're doing good now. It gives you a purpose, and I also get to coach and teach, and that's all I've ever done as an adult. So that's what I'm doing.
there we go.
Yeah.
So to kind of wrap this up, do you have anything else you want to talk about, or you want to say, or
No, I mean we covered. My biggest thing was figuring out what was going on with the beard, and my questions have been asked or been answered, and I think the viewers' questions have been answered about where we're going and the beard. So I'm good to go, man.
all right? Well, you know what, because you're my guy. I'm gonna give you a little sneak peek at some things coming up here on the old YouTubes,
Ooh,
on the old YubTubs. Okay, so every Wednesday I do random videos. Okay, Wednesday is always random videos. So it's either gameplay or it's just like an unboxing or a reaction or something. So here's some of the unboxings that we have coming up here. We have a People's Choice beef jerky,
ooh.
My Cookie Dealer Part 3.
The cookie dealer is not good for me and wanting to do biathlons.
Oh, so this is the funny thing though, is that there's a lot of people that buy from My Cookie Dealer that are bodybuilders and stuff because they use them as like night treats sort of thing.
Yep, 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 yep.
And also the funny thing as well is I got John buying them and I got Jeff buying them, and Jeff like buys them like once a month now. I feel like.
Naturally.
So we got those. We got the Viking Revolution beard care kit. Then we got MIDI premium Turkish treats.
There you go.
And then we got the Fit Crunch sample box.
Wednesdays are going to be a good day, huh?
Wednesdays are always fun days because it can go from like Crossfire X Highlights, which was a beta game I played this last weekend, to Apex Legends Lost Treasures event, which is a big event that just happened. We got random unboxings. It's a fun day because it's not the typical series day, and it's kind of it's the video that I upload that kind of gets the most views.
Right.
I'm
looking forward to Wednesdays now.
I've
already got you the bell and the heart ready to go on the YouTubes.
Oh yeah. So how have you been liking Hellblade? Because as we said about with the Viking stuff, how have you been liking that so far? I know there's only 2 episodes.
I need to physically play it is my issue.
Oh, is that the thing now? Yeah.
Big fan.
It's crazy that you look at the graphics and everything, and that's from 2017.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love it, and I gotta get as soon as you drop that first video, I was like, I don't know if you told anybody, but I was immediately texting you.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, what is this? Where is it? How do I get it? What do I do?
Mm-hmm.
Give it to me, and I was just all about it. It looks so sick. I've seen the first 2 videos, so I'm ready to roll.
It gets really good because of course I'm not gonna drop what happens, but it takes. There's one. I will say one thing. There's one part where the voices start fucking with me, like me in person, and I actually freak out.
Nice.
Because they
Can't
just
wait for that video.
I don't. I think it's somewhere in the middle of the teens. It's like a 23 episode series. So the funny thing. So here's another one. Just to go back to one of the things you said about with behind the scenes that I forgot to say. A lot of the YouTube series are filmed in one day.
Oh, wow.
So, for instance, that game, I sat down and just played. I just sat down, I played it, and that was it. And then what I did was I went back through and then clipped it up.
Nice.
Yeah. So a lot of the YouTube stuff is literally just like one day's worth of playing,
Oh, sneaky, sneaky. Look
Yeah,
at
right.
you. I did
You,
not know that.
yeah, you like that? So like the big brain play from Husky here. So I played Hellblade. It's 23 episodes. That's 23 uploads. That's 23 days. I don't have to worry about uploading anything.
That's actually really smart.
Yeah.
I'm impressed.
So I mean, and the next, let's see here. Well, not the next series, but so we have Hellblade, Batman, and the First Tree. Those are the three series right now. Eventually, we get to the sequel of Batman. We get a game called Wengia, which is kind of a fun little funky game. Titanfall 2, which is a incredible game. We get to a game called Stone, which is about it's a hip hop stoner noir koala. Um, and then one of them that I think that you will enjoy it's called Never Alone, and it's about Alaskan mythos and like stories.
Yeah, sign me up for sure.
Like so the really cool thing is that you play part of the game, you find an owl, and then the owl takes you into a story section, and it's like a minute to 2 minute clip of like the actual like Inuit Alaskan people going over the story and like what this is about and like this and that. It was one of those things like I saw it and immediately fell in love with it, and I played it and I
Right.
fell in love with it. Like it was just
That's literally, aside from the fact that you're my buddy,
mhm.
like that's why I log into your YouTube, is like you find some of the greatest games. Like I wouldn't be exposed to half of these games.
Well, like, and that was the thing was like the first game I ever played was Hue. It was like this, and I played it. It was such a fucking unique game, and like that's actually what kicked off the YouTube. Up until then, I made my YouTube just in case if I wanted to do YouTube. Then I had my name.
Right.
But Hue was the first series that like I like was like, yeah, I'm gonna upload this to YouTube because it's such a fucking cool game. And then I played Blair Witch, and I was like, I might as well upload this too. And then it's kind of gone from there on because like now this year I have all my series done, and if I play a new series game or a new campaign game this year, it's most likely going to be uploaded in 2021.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean like the next ones that I have are two Halloween games that will be uploaded in October. We have The Park and Bendy and the Ink Machine. And both of those, one of them looks just pure terrifying, and the other one is just kind of a mind fuck. So those would be fun to watch me yell and scream during. Um,
I literally can't wait.
yeah, like I said, I have a lot of things that I'm excited about moving forward. Um, I mean, I kind of dropped a hint on you. I sent you it, but we might even have a potential new slash secondary logo. Um,
Yes, yeah, don't say anymore. Yeah,
yeah,
it's a that that's a good one for the trust me people when I tell you you're gonna like this one.
yeah, like it's one of the coolest ones that I've done. Yeah, no, I'm excited. Just like it's one of those things that like I have a small following, but they're kind of loyal, and we're slowly growing, and that's the big thing
Right.
is that it's the grind. But I mean, it's that thing where, and I tell everybody this, no matter what, like I'm on streaming this
Yeah.
entire year. So this entire year, as of right now, there's been one day that I didn't stream.
Well, bottom line is people need to get on the Husky Nation, and we got to spread the word because it's good stuff, and I enjoy the shit talkery that happens when Sturge and Feds get on there with you, and you guys just yell and scream at people, and
Yeah, right. I mean,
I also enjoy you're putting video games that I'm not gonna be exposed to if I didn't show up here, and the effing title is always gonna be fun because we got some crazy, ridiculous people on here, so.
mhm. Yeah, I mean, it's good times, and just hopefully, it's one of those things where, and like I've had the discussion before with people. It's like when does it end? That sort of thing. Like when do I decide? Like okay, this is enough. I can't do this anymore. And I have those moments where like it's like fuck it, I'm not doing it today. But at the end of the day, I always do it.
It ends when we're on the top. That's
Yeah.
the bottom line.
Yeah, I mean, it's, it's gonna, it's that thing now. It's like, I used to say, like, I'm gonna die on that fucking field. I'm gonna die coaching on that field. Now it's one of those things like, I'm gonna die on this fucking while I'm playing, while I'm streaming something.
Hey, this is your hill, man.
Yeah.
This is your hill.
But well, thank you, Zutie, for coming on. Jesus, I almost screwed you by your real name.
People don't know the real name.
Yeah.
Don't throw that out there.
Well, that was the funny thing, is like, for a full year, nobody knew my first or last name, and then I started playing with Sturgeon Jeff, and they immediately start saying both of them.
Yeah, we screwed that up for you.
Yeah,
I said it at least 3 times on here.
It was like a very quick, like, boom, 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 and at that point, I was just like, oh, whatever, like, fuck it, who cares anymore? The illusion is dead. But yeah, thank you though for coming on. I really appreciate it. It's always fun, talking shit. And
anytime you want me on here, I'll talk to some people.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, during the season, I will probably be asking, you, Jeff Sturge, maybe some other, people, and it's just gonna be, talking the weekly football. So
let's do it, man. Let's do it, brother.
But. Thank you, everybody, for stopping out and watching this. And depending on where you are, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Stay out of trouble, stay safe, and we will talk to you all later.
Deuces.
Bye.